Sheila, glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me in the show.
So looking at the African innovation ecosystem today, what has changed?
Well, a lot has changed, especially this year. I mean, a lot. There are a lot more people getting into the ecosystem. Governments are becoming more deliberate about investing in infrastructure, for instance, for education, for health, manufacturing. So a lot more has changed in the sense that, absorption of, technology is a bit more now than before. But I think also there's a lot more highlights towards the ecosystem globally, something that was not there 10 years ago. Almost every country now is very deliberate about growing their ecosystem. So, I mean, we are thriving in a way.
Now looking at it, more critically, what do you think we should do as Africans to ensure that we make the most of the digital opportunities that are available today?
Okay, so I think most of us as entrepreneurs or innovators and governments in Africa, we are not deliberate about leveraging technology for commercial purpose. We look at it from the, impact or whatever it is, but not for commercial purpose. And that's why digital sovereignty, for instance, is not a big deal to governments in Africa because, I mean, if you register your business wherever, it's fine. But they don't look at the long-term effect of making sure that businesses are registered in their country, that those products are locally owned. So I think that is one thing we really need to look at, ensuring that the policies in the digital space ensures that, local innovations are locally registered, but they also look at, at the global market in the sense that everybody can use it, but ownership of the products is important that it's local. And I feel a lot of superpower countries do that, but I haven't seen a country that is very deliberate around that issue yet.
So that means that the concept of having African grown technologies may not be so close.
It's not. You see, the thing is, I think we look at African businesses in terms of who starts those businesses, but not how those businesses are registered, where those businesses are registered, where those products are developed. And that makes a big difference. So in a way, we are still exporting intelligence or knowledge or expertise. And even though the products are here, we're just consumers. We're just consumers of those products. And that, I think, makes a big difference in the long run. Right now, I think maybe because most of the ecosystems are young, so I get that bit, but I think we need to be a bit more serious around looking at, ownership and even open internet in our countries.
Sheila, you have worked with hundreds of startups across the continent. What are some of the biggest challenges that you think the startups that you have worked with have faced trying to grow their business or their enterprise on the continent?
So I think we romanticize entrepreneurship in this continent. And so we make a lot of people get into entrepreneurship assuming they will become overnight superstars and billionaires. And unfortunately, if you look well at most of the billionaires in Africa, they are not from the entrepreneurship side. They are from the political side or from the, traditional businesses, mining, oil and gas, those types of businesses. And so a lot of kids and just generally most people get into entrepreneurship, especially in innovation and technology, and they start wrong. So when you start a business wrong, it becomes really, really difficult to correct those wrongs down the line. That's why we get a lot of challenges with team dynamics, because you did not have contracts when you were starting out. You did not agree on what the roles and tasks for each person and what is expected from them from the word go. It's just me and my friend Fred who are starting a business. So, and then I tell you, okay, because you know a lot more people, you do business. Because me, I'm a bit shy, I will be in the background. but there's nothing written. So sometimes when the investors come in, you don't have even, proper due diligence documents for them to, for the investment process to close a little bit faster. People they don't do compliance. So you've never submitted tax for the past 6 years that you've been in existence. You don't even know how that goes about. So there are so many basic business fundamentals that, and unfortunately, we are not taught this in school unless you go to business school. That's where you're taught. But it's not people who go into business school who start businesses.
Okay,
Yeah.
so thanks, Sheila. I'd like to get your opinion about the whole concept of building unicorns. Should that be our focus in Africa?
No. I just
Tell me why.
I'll be direct.
Tell me why.
You see, I don't mind us looking at building unicorns. For sure we should, but we want unicorns today. I want to build a business today and I have a unicorn by the end of this 2020. It's impossible. We have so many issues that will not allow you. For instance, let's look at a very basic issue that cuts across the continent: logistics. Logistics is a nightmare almost in every single place in this continent. If you're building a business that leverages that supply chain, you either have to have a lot of money that you invest in the distribution of the supply chain, or you have to already have it. So I don't think we will be able to get unicorns today, but I kid you not, the moment we start unlocking those, and we've seen some of them, it will be the easiest continent to build unicorns for, because one, we are a continent who listen to each other. So I'll tell you, there's this app I tried. It's good. It's so good. You'll download it. You will not question anything. Every single day. Same. That's why with loan apps, for instance, they move faster. We are a community. We are community-based continent. And so if a product is good, it's easy for me to become your brand ambassador, even without you telling me. So with unicorn, same thing. We need to, build that ecosystem or customer or community mass or numbers for us to get unicorns. So trying to tell kids, today if you start a business, it will be a unicorn by the end of the year, we are lying to them.
So Sheila, let's dive deeper a bit into the policy side. I know that some countries in Africa have led the way with the Startup Act, for example, Tunisia, Senegal. How far has Kenya gone with theirs?
So we have a Startup Act that has been drafted and to be tabled by the Nairobi Senator, I think through a member of their party in Parliament. And we're hoping to have our Startup Act maybe next year. He's been working with us in the Association of Startup and SME Enablers of Kenya and a few other ecosystem players in ensuring that this comes to play. There will be obviously public participation, and we look to involve more stakeholders in the ecosystem to ensure that the policies drafted there are inclusive and they really help businesses grow. But over and above that, our government is very deliberate about innovation and technology, especially. We have the Data Protection Act. We have different policies around SMEs as well, and different measures that the government has put to ensure that inclusivity and thriving of SMEs in the country. So I'm super hopeful. I know because, for instance, all the government services, we can get them online as citizens in Kenya. So that shows you what type of a government ours is. I'm hopeful, there are a few things here and there that, most governments go through, but for this one specifically, I'm very, very hopeful that, we will have something concrete for the ecosystem soon.
Well, the fact that your e-government is strong, that's a good one. The fact that citizens can pay for services online, that's a good one. Sheila, always a pleasure. Thank you for being on the show today. Keep doing what you're doing. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Let's keep growing this continent.
I have been chatting with Sheila Birgen, CEO of The Cord, based out of Nairobi, Kenya.
Yes, the pandemic caught Africa unawares, but it certainly presents us an opportunity to retool and re-strategize. Like the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade out of it. Let's hope this is a true story of Africa when the dust finally settles. It's a wrap on this edition of the show, but the conversation continues online. Join us on social media. Remember, you can watch the entire show on Channels TV, YouTube, or via cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.